So it's going on in the battlefield, like there are lots and lots of people being killed, and Ravan is now getting quite upset about a lot of his army men being killed. So he's calling upon different Rakshasas to come and fight. So it seems that he calls, like, 3, 4 of his big army generals. Like there is someone called Rakshasa, then there is a Vajra Dhumashtra, and different names are there. And all of these have big fights with Ram Bhagwan's team, means the monkeys and everybody else. All of them from Ravan's team are getting defeated one after the other. And Ravan is getting really agitated by all of this that is happening. The monkeys are, some of the monkeys are also getting killed. It's not that only Ravan's people are getting killed, but more of Ravan's people are getting killed than the monkeys being killed. And then ultimately Ravan himself decides that now he has to come out in the field. So he comes out on his chariot and he is like fighting. He's obviously against, like first Hanumanji fights, Lakshman fights, and Ravan kind of like, hurts Lakshman so that he falls off on the floor. And then Hanumanji lifts Ram Bhagwan and brings him face to face with Ravan. So when Ravan is fighting against Ram Bhagwan, what happens is that Ram Bhagwan obviously is very strong. There is no doubt about that. So Ram Bhagwan hits his bows and arrows in such a way that Ravan's chariot breaks. So Ravan is on the floor. I mean, on the ground. Ravan is on the ground. That is one thing that happens. All of his weapons are kind of, lost. They have been broken. So, and he is like, really very tired. He's exhausted. He's feeling very like, now what has happened? He's feeling quite miserable about the whole thing. And Ram Bhagwan then says that Ravan, you are very tired. You go back and you relax. When they are face to face, Ram Bhagwan very kindly says, Ravan, go home. You are looking very tired. You come back after taking some rest. So can you imagine the greatness of Ram Bhagwan? He actually tells him that you go and take rest. Now, after going back home, Ravan is really very worried. This is probably the first time that somebody has ever defeated him. So he is really upset that, now what can I do? I have sent the best of best, but nobody has been able to defeat Ram and Lakshman. So then he thinks of his brother, who is one of the mightiest Rakshasas, and that brother's name is Kumkaran. So Kumkaran had a habit that for 6 months he would sleep, and then 6 months he would be awake. So at that time it was it was in between the sleeping time. So Ravan sends that, now we have to wake him up. So he calls for all the people in his team who are there to uh, go and wake up. So how are these Rakshasas? They are standing near him. They are beating loud drums. They are putting trumpets in his ears. There are elephants who are actually going over his entire body. But first, for some time, he does not wake up. He yawns, he turns, and he goes back to sleep. So they make even more noise. And eventually, when he wakes up, he sits up straight. And what does he do? The first thing he wants to do is start eating. So Ravan knows this. So he has kept a big feast for him ready right in front of him. He starts eating. And after that, he says that, why have you woken me up? This is the time for my to sleep. So then one of the ministers from Ravan's army tells him that this is what has happened, and Ravan has called for you to come and help him. So Kumkaran gets up. He's like a huge mountain, and he walks into the palace where Ravan is sitting. Ravan tells him the story, and Kumkaran is also quite upset with Ravan. So he tells that you have done something wrong. Why did you do this? You should not have picked up Sita like this. He tells Ravan all this, and then Ravan obviously does not like it. Kumkaran says that, but do not worry, brother. I will go and fight. He tells him that what he has done is wrong, but he still says that I will go and fight for you. So Kumkaran goes out into the battlefield after having told Ravan all of these things. And then when they see him approaching, all the monkeys are a little scared. They start running here and there. But then all the generals of all the army generals of the monkey, they bring them back, and Kumkaran just picks them up as if they are like some small little food items. He picks them up in his arms and he throws them. And then Lakshman comes to fight against them. First, when the monkeys are being defeated, all the people of Lanka are feeling very good that yay, now Kumkaran has come and we will be victorious. We will now win, and Ram and Lakshman will be dead. But does that happen? Of course not. Lakshman comes to fight, but Kumkaran somehow realizes that maybe his end is near. So he says that I will fight only against Lord Ram. So Ram Bhagwan comes and they have a fight for a really, really long time. And then Ram Bhagwan uses his divine shastras, and ultimately he cuts off his hands, cuts off his legs, he cuts off like different parts of the body. And even without his hands and legs, it is said that Kumkaran went on and on fighting. And then ultimately a powerful arrow hit his head, and his head went all the way from the battlefield into the city of Lanka, splattering blood all around. And everybody was very shocked. Ravan already was a little disturbed when he had heard that his brother said that what you have done is wrong. But then he had high hopes that his brother will go and will bring an end to all of this. Ravan is now in a state of shock because he feels that Kumkaran was somebody who had defeated many, many people. He had defeated lots and lots of asuras. He had defeated many devtas. And what was this just for Ravan? Ram Bhagwan was like just one human being. He did not know how powerful Ram Bhagwan was. So Ravan is like really disturbed. Whereas on the battlefield, Hanumanji is very happy. He lifts up Ram, he lifts up Lakshman, and they are all jumping up and down with joy. Here inside Lanka, some of other sons of Ravan, they come to him and they say that you don't worry, we will go and fight. They also are not, nothing happens. I mean, they are not successful. And now Ravan feels that this is going really, really bad. He's really worried. Let's see what happens in the next episode.